Step one in this process of finding oneself is to let go of ideas of what you are not. It's like you can't put anything new into a basket if it's full and cluttered with old things. First of all, you've got to take all of those old things out so new ideas, new experiences can fill that basket. And this is the same with the mind. So the first step in this process of finding yourself is to begin to let go of concepts that you have about what you are and who you are. All of them. Even if they sound true, they're still coming from a thought process rather than an inner sense or an inner knowing. That thought process acts as a barrier to connecting with the true self, regardless of what the thoughts actually are, how lofty they are, how spiritual they are. It is still coming from that aspect of your mind that is acting as a barrier to the experience of what and who you are. So you might have an idea that you are God. Well, this is true. You are a God. But as a conceptualization, it does not get you to the experience. So for now, let's just let that idea go too. What we need to do is empty out from the mind and the subconscious mind all ideas, concepts, belief systems, implants, and speech patterns. Every last I am statement we are holding, and allow them to dissolve, to come into the emptiness, the void, the stillness, and the silence. So in just a minute, we will go through a meditational process of isolating the conscious and subconscious thoughts you have about who you are. But first, we'll have a bit of a chat about what you are not. You are not a body. Now, most of us adhere to the idea that we are in a body and the body has limitations. This is one of these ideas that we need to dissolve, because you are not a body, neither are you limited by or in a body. If you were created by something that is omnipotent and unlimited, you must therefore be unlimited and omnipotent. Even within our current form, we're only using anywhere between 3% to 10% of our brain. Look at what Olympic champions can achieve. Look at what contortionists do with their body. Magicians, metaphysical students are able to achieve such great things just using this small percent of the brain. Imagine what we are capable of if we used the other 95 to 90% of our brain alone. Now, some scientists say that the other part of this brain that we're not using is dormant because it has no purpose. It doesn't do anything. It's just grey matter. Well, that's only because they haven't got the instruments to measure what it actually does. Every year, science progresses in what it can measure. We've just discovered that perhaps life just isn't about carbon and oxygen. So we are discovering more and more about this brain that we have and the midbrain area where there's this big space in our brain. So let us entertain this idea that everything has a purpose. Nothing in nature, in your body, is created without a purpose. There is a purpose to the other part of your brain that remains dormant. Well, how exciting is that? That is an exploration or a journey of discovering that we are more than what we are, and we're capable of more than what it is we currently perceive we're capable of. So while you are not a body, you are also not limited to your body. This is a misperception that tends to take spiritual seekers in completely the wrong direction of truth and the experience of yourself. We tend to look to get out of the body to have a spiritual experience, because in separation the mind thinks the body is separate from spirit, from others, and from God, and in reality it is not. Our body is not here for the purpose of escaping from it. Rather, it is an instrument or orientation for self-discovery which can aid us in the process of getting to know and understand who and what we are. We can't do that if we think this body is who we are and if we think it's what we are. If as a contortionist or great champion you can accomplish fantastic things, if as a creative entrepreneur you can bring into being amazing projects that uplift humanity, if you can achieve these things as the limited body that you think you are right now as a human being, what are you capable of and what potential lies dormant within you once you are increasing and expanding all of your abilities, all of your grey matter, and then let's bump it up another level. What can you create? What are your potentials? What is your reality when you create as spirit rather than a human being in a body? These are all good questions to ask ourselves because they expand our brain, they expand our thinking. So when we are in expansion, we are actually in the truth and the reality of universe, of God extending, because God is forever extending and expanding. We come into that ourselves and we begin to have an experience of ourselves, of who we truly are and the truth of who we are, rather than within a conceptual framework which limits the experience. So, until we let go of all of those limiting ideas that as a spirit we're free but as a body we're dense and bound, then there'll be an invariable identification of some aspect of ourselves as a body, which you are not and which you are not limited to. So let this idea of being a body or even being in a body go, let it dissolve. What are some of the other limited ideas we have here in the mind about who we are and what we are? Do you think you are a woman or a man? A light worker, an idiot? What kind of I am statements have you got going on in your mind? We're going to start a 3-step process of emptying out the concepts about yourself in the next track. First, pause the tape and go get yourself a piece of paper and a pen because you'll need it for this exercise. Set yourself up in a comfortable position where you're going to be able to close your eyes and write at the same time. And when you've come back, unpause the tape so that you can listen to the next track.